This is your love music, love life station, Smooth 98.1. We love sports as well because at this point in time, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we're all about some sporting action. Welcome to the locker room. My name is Ayokunmi. It's a great Monday and a great time to talk about sporting action that's been going on or that has gone on over the weekend. A lot of football action, some tennis in there as well. It's going to be a great mix of all the sports that you love and you adore as well. I never do this alone because it is never ever the locker room without the one and only Tega Supreme joining me. Very good morning to you, Tega. Great to have you in on a new week.
Good morning, Aya. Good morning, everybody. Yes, it's a new week. It's a great week. Um, but yeah, we caught a bug. So
Mhm. It happens. It
so just
happens.
hold on. First of all, in this time, in this world, we have to show our humanity. In this time of deep despair, can we take a minute of silence for the people of Manchester?
Mm.
Because these are dark times, all right? These are
A
really
city,
dark times.
a city united in
Eh,
L's.
I'm telling you, a city united in else. It's just it's all the way like Goshen again. There's light in London, but there's no light in Goshen. So let's take a minute of silence. And if you have a black armband, today is a good day to wear it for the people of Manchester. All right, let's do that. And while we do that, Aya can tell us how we can be a part of the show this morning because it's about to be bloody.
You know what? It was such a weekend. I'm wearing green today, so I'm all colorful today. Green shirt, a green hat, green sneakers. So I'm very colorful today. Nothing is touching me this morning. Anyways, to join us in the locker room this morning to share your thoughts and of course the banter, because I know you want to come for me as you like to do. Send those messages on WhatsApp on 0809 444 0981. 0809 444 0981. That is the WhatsApp number. You can join us on YouTube and drop your comments there at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Uchenna Woko is already there. Uchenna, let's hold hands and sing Kumbaya because at this point I don't even know anymore. Anyways, let's get into the sporting action. We're talking about basketball first, heading into the NBA, where five-time NBA All-Star Luka Doncic has joined the Los Angeles Lakers in a huge three-way trade deal. Tega, what's going on here?
This was the shocker of the year. Like, if you were on social media, everybody was talking about it. Even me, I was awake to watch NBA Saturday night. I slept and woke up Sunday morning and saw this news from nowhere. They were talking
Mm,
about trades for different players, especially Jimmy Butler. He was, taking the headlines, and people were talking about how Suns were fighting to get him, how Warriors needed him, yada yada yada, blah blah blah. There was not a peep, a whistle, or a thistle about Luka Doncic leaving the Dallas Mavericks. Look, even nobody even thought about it because for the past 6 or so years, Dallas Mavericks has been building a championship team around Luka Doncic. He's been the core of the team. They finally made it to the NBA Finals last year. They won the Western Conference and then they made it to the NBA Finals last year. And people were saying, okay, they'll be able to do something as they build the team better. Only for us to wake up Sunday morning, no rumor, no whisper, no gossip.
mm.
We just heard Luka is going to Lakers. And it didn't shock me further when we found out that not even Luka Doncic knew he was being traded. You have to understand. That's it. Look, Luka Doncic is a big player. For you to just wake up in the morning and trade him like stocks is the
that is
is the
that
worst
is
thing.
massive.
Now he was up for a 345 million supermax contract. You know how it is. They have all these supermax contracts, and he's one of the people with the talent and with the rep. That and he had also spent the time to be up for a supermax contract. Um, I think maybe Dallas Mavericks did not want to pay the money. Maybe Mark Cuban did not want to pay that money because this trade has meant that he's not paying that money. Anyway, so Dallas Mavericks traded Luka Doncic, and they're going to get Anthony Davis. Now, Anthony Davis is big, but everybody knows that at some point Lakers can do without him. He's not the most celebrity big that they're going to trade him. So Mavericks now get Anthony Davis, and Lakers now get Luka Doncic. The problem is Lakers don't have anybody that can play defense. LeBron James is 40. He cannot be playing defense every day. So they don't have a center of great repute. They don't have players that can step in and play defense. Why did you trade for Luka Doncic? Again, the question is still baffling everybody. Because LeBron, according to LeBron, he didn't know. I mean, I don't know how much he didn't know. Because he can be a liar too. But this time he was shocked. He didn't know. I saw Kevin Durant's reaction. Kevin Durant, I was watching Kevin Durant's game when the news came in. I saw his reaction on the bench. Like they were in shock. They're like, how did this happen? So nobody and their dog knew this story.
How are they able to keep this under wraps?
For such a huge trade, the people that kept this under wrap must be working with the mob. This went down like a drug deal. It didn't go down like it went down like a drug deal. It was quiet. So that's the huge news now. Luka Doncic is in Los Angeles. It's crazy. Very tricky. Let's see how this pans out for the Lakers. But man, this deal was too wicked. So I'm now looking at Rob Palenka of Lakers and Mark Cuban with side eye. Those people must be working for the CIA. This thing went under wraps. It's unbelievable. So let's see how it works out for everybody involved. Because Luka Doncic did not know. He did not know. He said he showed some messages like how when did I what nobody told me. And he's such a big player. Let me give you the level of it. Somebody explained it in musical terms. Someone said, imagine Destiny Child trading Beyonce to TLC for Chile. That's what this deal was.
Wow.
If Destiny, yeah, he's that big. So how did they trade him without his consent?
I would really love to be a fly on the wall to find out why, really.
In football,
I don't get it.
yeah, in football terms, just think about it. In football terms, imagine Arsenal waking up in the morning and trading Bukayo Saka without Bukayo Saka knowing. Like Bukayo Saka woke up one morning, he's been traded.
I can't even think about that happening, really.
Do you understand? He's that important. Anyways, let's
very interesting times
story.
ahead. Very interesting times ahead. All right, let's leave basketball and talk about some tennis here. Carlos Alcaraz has been speaking. Now, he said on Sunday that the foremost of Australian Open champion Yannick Sinner is crazy as the Spaniard prepared for his first match since losing in the quarterfinals in Melbourne.
Yeah, so a lot of ATP 500 tournaments are going on this week, and Carlos Alcaraz is participating in Rotterdam, and he was asked about his form because everybody really thought that look, Carlos Alcaraz, the way he was playing, he was going to make it to the final. We're going to see a Yannick Sinner, Carlos Alcaraz finally in the Grand Slam, and then who knows, maybe he would have won. All of that was foiled by an injured Novak Djokovic. And so, of course, since this is the first time anybody has seen him since then, the questions were always going to come out. And he was like, look, Yannick Sinner is the best player in the world right now. He's playing the most effective tennis. Yannick Sinner's tennis is not the most beautiful. Like, I wouldn't pay to watch Yannick Sinner except he's playing another big player. Me or Tega personally. His tennis is that bland. However, he is playing the best tennis in the world because of results. He's been hard to beat by anybody. And that's what Carlos Alcaraz is saying. People are like, look, because Yannick Sinner is delivering on his potential.
On his potential, Tega.
Sorry, hold on. That Yannick Sinner has delivered on his potential, but Carlos Alcaraz, we are still waiting on you. Today you're up, tomorrow you're down. You're a bit like the national grid in Nigeria. So what's really happening? He was like, I'm still finding my way. Nobody should put me under pressure, that kind of a thing. But if you're looking for the best player in the world, look at the number one ranked player. Don't look at me. I understand what the deflection is about, but yeah, at some point in time, Yannick Sinner is going to have to deliver some more consistency than he has shown. He has some excellent results, but he has some really weird results in between.
Mm-hmm.
Like the guy he's playing first, Van der Schlopp, Botic, he lost to him. And people are like, how do you lose to Botic? How do you, Alcaraz, lose? Do you understand? He has some losses, like against Jack Draper. People are like, Jack Draper too. How do you lose to that? Do you understand? Those are
Right.
questions that they ask. He needs to have some consistency over some big name players. All these up and downs is not working for him. But let's see how he performs in Rotterdam this week.
Let's see how he performs. He's still quite young, so he has time to iron out all those kinks, dot all the I's, cross all the T's, hopefully. And then he can, should I say, begin to quote unquote rival Yannick Sinner properly, be more consistent. All right, let's head into the
That
Premier
one
League.
is not rivalry. He's beating that boy very well. That's my problem. He will beat Yannick Sinner every day, then lose to Jack Draper. What's wrong with you? Are you Manchester United? Speaking of.
What a Monday is turning out to be. Okay, let's head into the Premier League. First of all, let's talk about the big one that went down at the Emirates as Arsenal delivered a statement of intent in the Premier League title race with a 5-1 hammering of champions Manchester City to close the gap at the top to 6 points on Sunday. Tega, is it safe to say? I mean, we knew that City were down bad. Is this down badder at this point in time or down baddest?
It's still down badder because it looked like they were coming back into form when they got back to back results in different competitions. It looked like they were coming back to form, um, but it just looked like how when your leg is broken and you've put it in a cast, they still look like a team in a cast. They didn't look like they
Hmm.
had fully come back to it, and but they were getting a lot confident. And when the match, especially when you play an enemy that when the match against Arsenal started, it did look like they were able to hold something because Arsenal scored um an early goal via mistake by what's his name now, Akonji. Akonji made the mistake. um Arsenal scored the early goal. And then Arsenal had that opportunity that Kai Havertz missed. I'm still wondering how he missed it. Um, but after that, it was Manchester City with wave after wave, and David Raya just coming up with some fantastic saves to keep them in. And sometimes Gabriel will come up with a fantastic stop.
Hmm.
But they looked like they were getting back into it. And then when Erling Haaland scored that goal, look, when that Erling Haaland goal, I saw it coming from the build-up. And I did not see how the Arsenal defenders did not see it coming. It was too obvious from the build-up that if you don't stop this ball here, it's entering the back of the net. And so when Saliba was standing there and Erling Haaland ran in front of him and put the ball in the back of the net, I was like, oh, Kwari, they're back in it. Even I thought they were back. And I'm sure
Same
Manchester
here.
City, yeah, Manchester City now also thought they were back because you could see they visibly relaxed that, okay, 1-1, game on. Thomas Partey was like, nah, man, I bring the party. I bring, and he brought the party because he scored the goal to take the lead again. And from then on out, it was Manchester City with possession, Arsenal with the goals. That's how the game turned. But 5-1 was a wicked scoreline. 5-1 was too wicked a scoreline for anybody to take in. And so, yes, the result really hurt. And this result can do one or two things. It can spur you into going on to find a way to win, or it can just deflate you that, you know what, let's just aim for top four, which is really what have to do now. Aiming for top four. They can't get the league. The league, unfortunately for Arsenal, they've been fighting for 2 seasons to defeat Manchester City. They finally defeated Manchester City. After defeating Manchester City, Liverpool has stolen the league.
It's like a it's like a Hydra-headed monster. Cut off one
I'm
head,
telling you,
another head is there
they,
already.
they were fighting to they thought Manchester City was their problem. Then they defeated Manchester City, and Liverpool was like, "Thank you for the league." It's a problem without solution.
Seriously. Let's take a very quick break right now. When we come back in, we'll head into La Liga and talk about Real Madrid, who were on the surprising end of a loss against Espanyol. That and a whole lot more in the locker room on Smooth 98.1. Don't go anywhere.
Don't mind Arsenal. This thing reminds me of Arsene Wenger and Sir Alex Ferguson. Remember when Arsene Wenger was only fighting Sir Alex Ferguson? And then he finally thought, at least I know Alex Ferguson. Mr. Mourinho just came up with Chelsea.
That one is going to scatter
So,
everywhere.
exactly. So in your mind, you're like, my only enemy is Manchester. The Chelsea now came up and said, hey, that's exactly what Liverpool has done. Arsenal finally defeated Manchester City, but Liverpool is still in the middle.
I think they've done a double over them this season now.
No, Arsenal, the first leg was 2-2. Can't you remember the red card? It was 2-2. Kala scored that wicked goal. The first leg was 2-2. That's when they gave Trossard the card for that a red card now.
Okay,
Michael
for
Oliver.
kicking the ball away once.
He said for delaying the restart of the match. How do you delay the restart of the match when the injured player is still rolling around on the floor? Olodo people. Misapplication of the law. So yeah.
City.
So,
I'm sorry.
No, but this beating, I thought Arsenal win by 2-1. I thought Arsenal win.
Something close.
Yeah, no, me, I thought it was going to be 2-1. I said 2-1, and it was going to be really close. And Arsenal will score that second goal, and then they will play haram football. Ashe, 5-1, 5 whole goals.
Lord have mercy.
Pep Guardiola couldn't believe his eye.
What did you say?
I said Pep Guardiola couldn't believe his eye.
He's not used to it at all. He's not. Anyways, let's jump back in. Welcome back into the locker room this beautiful Monday morning on Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life, love sports as well. 33 minutes past 8 a.m. Ayokunmi right here. Alongside me is Tega Supreme. We are talking about all the sporting action from the weekend. It has been basketballs all the way, and there's still a lot of basketballs to actually come. And you can join in by sharing your thoughts, joining in on the banter, and also, putting your own basketballs in as well. Send those messages to us on WhatsApp on 0809 444 0981. 0809 444 981. That is the WhatsApp number. Also, join us on YouTube. We're streaming live at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Those are the ways you can join us this morning. All right, Tega, let's jump into La Liga. As I mentioned earlier on, La Liga leaders Real Madrid was stunned at lowly Espanyol on Saturday after losing 1-0 thanks to a late Carlos Romero strike.
I'm telling you, it's like Espanyol just survived, and when they had the opportunity, they stunned Real Madrid. And they could have gotten a second, but again, you have to understand, quality of opposition was very different. It was a shocking loss, I won't say it's a huge loss, even if this result means that Atletico Madrid, after winning their own match, they win their own match. Yes. It brought them just 1 point behind Real Madrid. And then Barcelona, who won their own match against Alaves yesterday by a single goal by Lewandowski, is now just 4 points behind Real Madrid. So Real Madrid are not running away with it like they were earlier on. So I will still say it's a huge loss, but I'll say it's one of those things that can happen because Real Madrid did all the playing. They had ample opportunity. I think they even hit the bar. The goalkeeper played a fantastic match, and the ball just couldn't end up in the back of the net legally. The one time it ended up, the one time it ended up in the back of the net, it was Mbappe that fouled somebody in an incident off the ball. But he fouled the person as what's his name? As Vinicius Junior was tucking the ball into the back of the net. I don't know how to. So it was in the build up to the play. It was part of the play, and so the goal had to be cancelled. But yes, it was a tough match, and every team gets those kind of matches. But for Espanyol to find a way to sneak in the ball in the back of the net, and then come away with all 3 points must have been very annoying. Ancelotti would have kicked himself. But I thought Ancelotti should have brought in Luka Modric a lot earlier, especially when Rodrigo was still finding spaces in behind the defense. I thought he could have brought him on earlier, and maybe that would have opened some passes and creativity earlier in the game. Because by the time
Mm,
Luka Modric came in, Real Madrid players were already frustrated and they were now trying to do too much. You know how when players are frustrated and nervous, they now
mm.
try to do too much and they
It
now
begins to
start to
overplay.
miss. Yes, they overplay, they misplace passes, they take wild shots and all of those things. So football is not just about the quality of your player, it's also about the timing, and the psychology. And I think that's where Ancelotti didn't get it right for me. But yeah, great result for Espanyol. It lifts them up from the bottom of the table. It helps their life. Um, and
Mm,
great news for the La Liga because this is what you want to sell. That small teams can actually get one over big teams. But for Real Madrid, it just puts them in another dicey place. Remember, they already have that extra match next week against Manchester City. I already believe that they are going to win it. But the fact that they're playing 180 minutes extra, it's already too much football.
indeed. Indeed.
Yeah, it's already too much football. But let's see how it pans out for them. But what it means is that the La Liga has been thrown open again, at least on the Madrid end. Because like I said,
Exactly.
it's 1 point between Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid. Barcelona is still 4 points off. That's still a little bit far. Yeah.
All right. Let's head back into the Premier League. And this time I'm heading to the red side of Manchester where there is no power, no light. Everything is in darkness. Manchester United's woeful home form this season continued as they slumped to a 2-0 defeat by Crystal Palace in the Premier League on Sunday.
I think it was a tweet that Crystal Palace posted, Theater of Palace or something along those lines instead of Theater of Dreams because of the recent winning run they've had there. I'm sure Sir Alex Ferguson has been reading all this news and just shaking his head. It never happened in this time. Crystal Palace, what? Coming to build a statue here?
Mm,
But it was a tricky game for Ruben Amorim in the sense that, when big teams have identities. And so when you face big teams, Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, to an extent, you know exactly how to set up because they have identities. Seems like Crystal Palace, oftentimes they are playing for survival. There is no identity. They play the ball as needs be. so And so to plan for those kind of things sometimes can be a bit tricky. Um, and look, I'll tell you, some people were arguing about the team, but the first 11 that Manchester put out was not bad enough for a team like Crystal Palace.
mm.
It wasn't. If you ask me, yeah, I know people say play your best. Like, there are sometimes when you're playing certain teams, you have 38 games a season. You have to manage the players on the bench. I don't think it was the poorest starting
Worst
11.
team.
Yes, I don't think it was the poorest first team. I, however, wasn't impressed when they were taking their time. Like they had all day to be playing this Crystal Palace. Sometimes you just need to start the day with a lot more energy, and rattle some feathers and see what you can get. They didn't shake Crystal Palace in the first few minutes for me. Um, and then Crystal Palace came back into the game, settled, and went on to sneak one goal in. And I will say sneak the goal in because it was a shot from outside the 18, which means that they were not getting the the runs that they usually would like. And then Mateta put the rebound in the back of the net. So I would say it was a sneaking of one goal in. But for me, it wasn't that Manchester United gave away two goals on the defensive end um, through two poor plays. It was the fact that they did not early enough test Crystal Palace enough. Like they allowed Crystal Palace to relax a little bit. And so by the time they started again getting angry and trying to get Crystal Palace to play football, Crystal Palace were satisfied with their one goal and they were sitting on it. It makes it even harder for you. And it forces you to start overthinking and overplaying. So again, it came down for me, this loss wasn't on Manchester United's defense, even if the errors led to the goals. This loss was really down to the fact that Crystal Palace did not, Manchester United did not press Crystal Palace in attack enough when they needed to. That's for me.
Hmm. Another loss, and I don't know how it's going to end up at the end of the season, but I think I've signed out. Let's wait till
Yeah,
let's
some
wait
people have
till
signed out.
August.
Some people have signed out and they're like, let's give it till next season. But I still don't think, again, it comes down to the management. Manchester United will not do wholesale buying and selling because your owners do not spend money like that. And
Well,
that's where the problem can be.
well, the club
It
is in
is
a bad place financially as well. There's that.
exactly. So when you think about that, and you think about the number of players you need to buy to turn things around, it's going to be tricky. But let's see how it works out. Let's see how it works.
Indeed. All right, let's head over to the Serie A, where Inter Milan came from a goal down to salvage a 1-1 derby draw against AC Milan, with Stefan de Vrij snatching an added time equalizer at the San Siro on Sunday as they missed the chance to go provincially to the top of the Serie A standings.
Even me, I celebrated that equalizer. If you said, so the way I was celebrating it, because so it was your typical Milan derby, but this time a little more exciting. Conceição has brought some energy back to AC Milan. And so when they took the lead earlier on and they looked like they had another opportunity to score a goal and they didn't take it, I was like, Conceição is doing a great job. He did bring the energy back from the sidelines to the pitch. His player selection, everything was going fine. They just couldn't find the second goal that they needed to make themselves safe. But Inter Milan are champions for a reason, and
Hmm.
they kept pressing, and they kept pressing. It was at some point I was like, people shouldn't have to suffer this hard to at least get an equalizer. So when they got the equalizer, even I jumped up because at some point you had to pity them. They knew that if they lost against AC Milan, they were going to let Napoli off the hook. Napoli was playing Roma in the next match. Um, and yes, Roma has come back. Roma is resurgent. So they were not too sure that Napoli was going to win, but they knew that if they lost, they were going to give Napoli breathing room, and that's what they didn't want to do. Unfortunately, they dropped 2 points there. But fortunately for them, Napoli to drop 2 points because the Napoli match ended in a 1-1 draw too. Same thing. Napoli scored early. Roma scored a late equalizer. It was almost rinse and repeat in that particular match. And even in that match, I started to support Roma because I wanted the Italian Serie A to be a little closer. But
You
yes, a
know,
very tough one for Inter Milan. But AC Milan is obviously on the road back. Conceição is doing a fantastic job with AC Milan. In other news in the Serie A, Colomwani moved from France to Italy, to Juventus, and he helped them come back into the game and take the win with 2 goals. Took away Man of the Match award too, and then Conceição the son also scored in that match. So father and son having a good time in Italy.
indeed, indeed. All right, Tega, let's take messages they have lined up right here. Let me see how many I can take before we have to call it a morning.
Do not
So
evade the banter. I don't trust you. Read all the banter.
Solomon says, congratulations to Arsenal. Spot number 2 guaranteed for them as always. I'm glad you said as always. Who else is talking to us? Tayo says, all these losses have Israel the style bender looking straight. Ouch, Tayo, why now? Both Manchester clubs are just awful. I can't blame Rashford and Anthony. The chosen one, in the famed words of Holland, Manchester, stay humble. Eh? I'm
I
humble,
want to say
Tayo.
that Anthony also played in Real Betis match. He scored a goal and won Man of the Match award. Just so that we know where the problem is. All right,
Mm.
moving on.
This says Pep is the luckiest manager ever. Okay. Um, okay. Esquire says Arsenal beat Man City in both the men's and women's team on the same day. True story, true story. Who's talking to us here? Tosin says, "Help you roast the devils and force feed those babies with humble pie." I don't. Well, if it's meat pie, I don't mind. MQ.
The
This
humble
is
pie
from
is for
FPO.
the blue side of Manchester. The
Okay.
devils are you people.
Give me meat pie. MKO says, does he look, I don't have a say in if he wants to go or not? I mean, them they shave person head in their absence. That's a very good question. Very, very good question.
Okay, the
As it
way that NBA trades go is not like football trade. Yeah, the way that NBA trades go is not necessarily like football trade. So
right.
they don't come in and call you to the office and sit you down. They're not polite like that. The people that trade you, so even his coach did not know he was getting traded. Jason Kidd did not know that Luka Doncic was getting traded until it got to the final stages.
Mm.
So usually with football, sometimes it's the coach that is deciding it. Sometimes it's the technical advisor based on fit for the team. In NBA, is the front office. They
Oh,
just
okay.
look at they just look at their books and say, you know what, we can make more money here, and you're gone,
Just like that.
just like that.
Uh,
It's not
anyways,
basketballing reasons.
Zicolo says, Tega, I know you don't like Arsenal, but it's unfair to try to erode Arsenal's victory against City by even claiming we have been looking for a win against them since 2 years ago. Hmm? Same City we beat in the league last season. I know Arsenal is not good enough to win the EPL, but I beg, give us our flowers when we deserve it.
Hey, when I said you were looking to beat Manchester City, I mean you were looking to be victorious over them, and then you have finally gotten the victory over them, and it's Liverpool that is still taking the league. So I'm talking of the general picture. You are
Hmm.
talking of small, small squabbles.
In the grand scheme of things, in terms of winning the league, is what Tega was
Yeah.
referring to. All right, we need to call it a morning. Apologies for the messages that we cannot take. Time has absolutely flown by, but
I
thank you
want to
for
hear
always
Wokoye's
keeping it
Uche
tuned.
Wokoye's message now.
Oh, okay, hold on. Let me see here. Uche
Let
Wokoye says, okay, United, no words. We concede goals in a funny manner, but I know will come good once the team forms a bond. City, a total disgrace. Their next fixture will be tasking. So sad. Padre Pio says, not a good time to be a Manchester fan. Glad to see City humble, though. And let me sneak one more in. Abiodun Obisheson says, how could Pep, for the life of me, think he could go toe-to-toe with the ego-bruised Arsenal? Sure, Real Madrid will be smacking their lips now. Good win for Barca, three-horse race in Spain.
All
All
right.
right.
Thank you so much for sending all those messages. Thank you for sending your messages via YouTube, via WhatsApp, and thank you for tuning into Smooth 98.1 FM to listen to the locker room. Till we come your way again on
Wednesday.
Wednesday. Yes, and this time we'll be live. All right. Have
Indeed.
a great week.
All right, Tiger, have a great week. Looking forward to seeing you on Wednesday. And thank you all once again for sending your thoughts and always keeping it tuned to the locker room. Much appreciated as always. Don't go anywhere. The Smooth Breakfast will continue. Lagos Talks will come up at 9. Great conversation coming your way.